Well, good afternoon and welcome to Financial Sins. I am Tanya Scott Pilcher, your host, along with Mad Flow today. How are you, everyone? And we are so glad to be here with you to share some important information as always. I think last week, Flo, we did some back to school things and we had an awesome young lady that is an entrepreneur and had a new game that was out called Cents to Cents. And
Uh-huh.
been enjoying, just having some wonderful people on our show. And I think we're going to keep going with all of these African American businesses. I even put out there just today that if there were some other businesses that really wanted to get on the air and talk about what they're doing and how they survived the pandemic, to reach out because I think that we need to know, what their struggles were and how things were. But anyway, what you been doing this week?
Hey, this is Mad Flow, guys, and y'all know Mad Flow just stands for making a difference for life and others. I am not crazy. I'm just mad about helping people understand work hard for them because we all work hard for money. Hey, today is a fantastic day, so happy to be here today. And just like Tanya discussing just now, so many companies, but small businesses that have basically failed or just did not survive during the pandemic. And we have a couple. We have a young lady here now because I'm in her business right now. If y'all heard of Polly's Cake Giants, and this is where I am right now, and I'm going to get a taste of these cakes before I leave. But I used to come here, and they'll have a sample, what you call sample shavings of cakes that they've been, they've decorated whatever, and the shavings from it, they'll just put it in little Ziploc bags and put it up on the counter and sell those little tasting shavings for maybe about $1. And I used to come here and get maybe about 4 or 5 of those when I have my craving, other than buying just a big cake. But I buy the cakes. It is delicious. It's absolutely wonderful. And this is Polly's. This is Polly's Cake Giants, not giant cakes. We talk about Polly's Cake Giants right there, 2325 Geechee Road. She's going to be joining me in a minute. We also have her son who also works with her. His name is, listen to this name now. Listen, Pray. Is that the name? His name is Pray. Isn't that sweet?
Wow.
His name is Pray. So Miss Polly is in the back right now. She is, of course, doing what she does best. She's baking some delicious cakes right now for, those customers that's going to be coming in and out. But she has a terrific, fantastic story that you guys have to hear, have to listen to. It's a family business, and she's going to share more about how they really started this business. And here's Miss Polly right here. Let me get you in there. There you are, looking just like a chef.
Hi.
Hey, everyone, I want you to meet Miss Polly.
Hello there.
Hi, Polly, Miss Polly. How are you? It was such a pleasure meeting you. I think it was in December when we came outside your business during Keisha Carter's Kwanzaa, the Kwanzaa
Yes,
event.
yes, yes.
Yes. And so I had the opportunity to be at your location. We had some fun out there that day. And I think the weather was pretty good for January, December, January, or
Yes,
something
it
like
was.
that.
Yes, it was.
And got a chance to hear your story and taste some delicious cakes and cookies. You had cookies that day. So everything was so fabulous. And you hosted us that day, and it was awesome. It was such an awesome day. So thanks for being with us. We are so glad to have you and have you to explain and talk about your story because you've been here or your business has been in Savannah for quite some time.
Yes. Matter of fact, we just celebrated 12 years, July the 5th, our anniversary. And this, yes, so it's been 12 years at this location.
And how did you get to this location? Get up a little background about your family. You started with your family first, and how your generation before you influenced you to get to this point right here.
Well, Miss Polly's is her story, as I say, is my life. And what has happened was, I would just say that oftentimes people used to say we make what we call preparation and God make changes along the way. And that's pretty much where it is because I had no idea that my life would be where it is today, that I would be a Miss Polly or even have a business. These were goals of mine. People always dream came true. Any of this. My dream was to go to Chicago and work for Xerox.
Wow.
Back in the day, I just grateful to be here, but I've been out of school now, going to be 50 years. So we just been at where best out of everything that's going on. And what has happened back in the early 70s, my father was and mother was blessed to be one of the entrepreneurs of this area we call Kyla Brownsville. A little history about this area. It was like the Black Mecca for business owners who wanted to have businesses. And when I grew up as a girl, I was surrounded by Black owned businesses. So therefore, it was very normal to me to see Black people having businesses. We had everything. I always give homage when we have tours that come into the fact. We just had a tour bus here last Monday. They came from Dallas, Texas, and this was a lot of them first time ever being in Savannah. And we get a lot of the tour buses that are on tour. The Greyhounds, I think before then we had like two of the big Greyhound buses that came in, the tour buses. So we get our recognition when it comes down to our part that we play in Black history here in Savannah. I'm proud to say that I am the last of that generation of Black owned businesses. When I grew up, we had Hall's Confectionery, we had Bevan's convenience store, we had Kittles Confectionery, we had A.K. Williams gas station across the street. We had Sonny's Barbecue and Grill right there on the corner. We had Miller's Barbershop right there on 37th and Ogeechee. Tom and Lily's store right there on 37th. We just had several Black-owned businesses. We had Solomon's Hair and Barbershop, which was up on what we call now MLK, but it used to be West Broad Street. But this whole area with West Broad Street coming on down to Ogeechee Road, this area was very popular if you were Black and was. So for me to walk these streets, and literally at the age of 4, I would walk from Ogeechee Road all the way up to West Broad Street, which is MLK, every day just to go to kindergarten. So you can't do that now, of course. A little
Mhm.
4-year-old girl walking all the way from Ogeechee to MLK. But I got to see Black excellence. And what has happened is my family, being a child of 10, it was 10 of us. My father was a graduate of Savannah State College. And matter of fact, we are so proud because he was the first container inspector for ILA.
Oh, wow.
Back then, ILA did not have container inspectors. And by him being a Black educated man, then he was able to, that position was literally made for him to check the containers. So therefore, just coming up in that type of environment where my mother, she was like Miss Wilkes. If you're familiar with Miss Wilkes, this is my one and only granddaughter here. She'll be taking over, I'm quite sure, one day because she's very active in the business right now. And she was born when she left in a cardboard box and sat her here in the cake shop. So she literally has been here ever since she's been like 3-4 months old, and she's 2 now.
Okay.
But we were able to just take what we had, which was dad wanted to, and my mother wanted to build a laundromat as a business. My mother wanted a business that would be self sufficient, but at the same time make some money. So she decided to open up B&E Coin Wash and Laundry. And from that, we were just known as the Rutherfords, which is my maiden name. And we just had what I call top of the art, state of the art laundromat back in the early 70s. So with that just being one of my chores to come to the laundromat every day, and that was after school job for me and all of my siblings, it automatically put us in the mind of always having a business. Most of my other siblings, they too, have always had side hustles and side businesses. It's just part of who, I guess, our DNA of who we are. And yeah, so we came up that way. I know my dad was a holiness preacher, so I came up very sheltered, very disciplined, um, not being lifted up. That was preached to us all the time to humble yourself.
Mhm.
So I think I started my whole journey based on humility. Um, and because of that, I stand on those grounds even till today. I don't get lifted up in whatever I do. To everything I do, I give God the praise because it was He who brought me through this part of my life. Um,
So,
being married, and go ahead.
so Miss Polly, so it seems as if your family has always been in business, right?
Yes.
And then you started with the bakery. So, or was your family in the bakery business before you started it?
No, this particular building that we're in today was built back in the 70s by us. This was the old laundromat building.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And then from the laundromat, Dad turned it into a thrift store. And I remember one Thanksgiving dinner, we were sitting at the table, and I was looking for a building and could not really find a building to suit what we were trying to do. Some were too small, some were too big. It was like the Goldilocks story.
Mhm.
Just could not find one that was of size and something that we could afford. And I remember telling Daddy at Thanksgiving that day because the thrift store had kind of like really dwindled down. It was not, booming as so to speak. And I told Dad, well, when you get finished playing, I'll take the building and I can make it a bakery. And so we laugh at that to this day. But when I tell you, it gives him great pride and joy. He's 90 years old
Oh,
now,
wow.
and he's cute. He's a cute 90-year-old. Yeah, so he can still turn the heads of a lot of young women. I tell him, go, Dad. But he comes in and sits in here and crosses his legs and have dessert, and he really enjoys it because I tell him the promise that I made to him, I will take care of his building. And so we really do a lot as far as maintaining it, making sure that it is a beautiful place, that it is a comfortable place. And I wanted to honor him and my mother by taking care of this building that they built over 50 years ago.
And you're doing a great job of that.
It's a beautiful bakery, isn't it?
It is.
It really is.
I have a main question I want to ask, because in order for a company or any business to sustain itself, it has to have the product that people demand. So your cakes, your recipes, where did that come from? Is that a family recipe, or is that something that you created as far as the recipes for your cakes or whatever? Because these are, when I'm saying they're delicious, I don't know, I'm pretty sure you've tasted them, Tanya. But I come here and get those little shavings. Do you still have those shavings?
Yes.
Okay. But where did the recipe come from?
It's mama. Most people say grandmama or this one, but in my case, it's mama.
Okay.
I think I mentioned earlier, if you're familiar with Miss Wilkes' story here in Savannah, my mother was like the black version of Miss Wilkes. We had people that would just come by the house unannounced from out of town. And she was that lady that would go in and create a meal within the hour. She was a very good cook. And when I first pulled up in front of the house, she said, "Oh, Lord." That was her look, "Oh, Lord." And she would say, "Polly, go bake a cake." That was my assignment. Polly, go bake a cake. So that's how I got into baking cakes. And it was a sour cream pound cake, which is one of our #1 sellers here today. We can't keep it. But that was my thing. Polly, go bake a cake. And by the time the people start unloading out of the car, she would be in there, even if the chicken was frozen. She was breaking it with her hands and putting it under water. And the next thing you know, she can do the best fried chicken. And she would always give them a very good hot meal. One of the favorite meals was fried chicken, rice and gravy, green peas, or green string beans, and cornbread and sweet tea. And I would knock it off with that sour cream pound cake every time. So we came up just under the name of sweet bread. We call it sweet bread. So when I had children of my own, I have 5 children, 4 sons and a daughter. And I wanted my children to have pretty cakes, because I can remember when I turned 16 for the first time, my mother and father bought me my own personalized little cake. It was a small cake from Piggly Wiggly. It came in an aluminum pan, and it had a little white sugar mermaid that sat on top. I did not know anything about scenes, but the impact that little cake did for me changed my life. It was the first time that my parents called me by my birth name, which was Wanda Maxine. Other than that, I was always called Polly. So I didn't even know my name was Wanda until I went to school. But when they addressed me as Wanda Maxine with that little cake, I remember that was something that I did not have to share with my sisters or my brothers. It was a cake that was just for me. It acknowledged me. And I remember I kept that little sugar mold until I could not keep it anymore. I kept it for years, just a piece of sugar in a bag, in a sandwich bag. So when I had my kids, then I just wanted them to experience that feeling of having a cake.
Okay, I want to ask you a question. I'm gonna give you a statement here, because you know what? Between February and April 2020, the number of business owners nationwide 41% compared to 17% of white-owned businesses. So, with that being said, what did your family do in order to make sure that you can sustain yourself from 2019, when the pandemic, hit us in the last part of 2019, all the way through this point right here? How did you guys do it? What did you do? Anything different? Did you have to go into your savings and pull money out of there, or were you already prepared for catastrophe that could happen like this?
In my particular case, it was simply the grace of God. Because we did lose a store on Broughton Street. We had a store in Broughton, and we had one in Pooler, and we have the one here. These 3 stores were operating during the pandemic. And we literally lost the Broughton Street store because sales went to 0. The bills were still there, but there was no income coming in. But as far as the Ogeechee store, because I owned this building, so therefore I did not have to worry about paying the mortgage. I meant the rent that month. So that helped out. whereas
Mhm.
the other stores I still had to pay that lease.
Mhm.
Then by it being a food, we fell under that umbrella as far as being a necessity. So therefore, I remained open during that time. And I realized then that the cake not only was just my business, but it was a healing station.
Mhm.
And that's when I realized that, oh no, this is something totally different. The nurses from the hospitals, those that were working in different capacities, just as far as helping people, would come to the store daily saying how all they needed was a slice of cake to get through.
Oh wow, that's
Wow.
And because of that, I took it extremely personal to make sure that their needs were met, that, this cake is healing. People are always feeling better when
Mhm.
they eat a slice of cake or have dessert.
Especially Polly's cakes.
It is a healer. So therefore, you have to find out that what you do, no matter how large or how small, how it helps the human, mankind get through crisis. Sometimes
Right.
just a shampoo
Mhm.
or just to get your nails done would make you feel so good about things. And I realized then that this cake was serving that purpose.
Mhm. So how did COVID, the pandemic, how did it change you or prepare you, your business? How did it change you? Did it change you anyway? Did it change the company anyway? So what dynamics happened after the pandemic?
What happened here is that we just buckled down. Everybody, of course, was aware. We had a few members that did catch COVID. I was just blessed to be one of those that never had it. And we just did like everybody else did. We made sure that everything was cleaned, everything was sanitized. We made sure that packaging was changed. There was a time when our cakes were not all individually packaged. We would serve them when you ordered them. If we had like a cake, we may slice off of the cake and then package it then. But just prior to that, we began to just take those type of things into consideration.
Mm-hmm.
Our costs, of course, went up.
Yeah.
Plastics, packaging, all of that is very high. So we took a loss there, and I tried to sustain the prices. We kept the same prices for 8 years, and I
Wow.
just went up literally the 1st of August, 50 cents more per item,
Mm-hmm.
because it was just to the point where I could not, sustain it.
And how many years did you say you kept the same price?
8 years.
My God, if that's a blessing for anybody else out there that wanted her
Yeah.
cakes, that was a blessing.
Yeah.
For both sides, the
Mhm.
community and for you to be able to keep it at that price and still sustain a profit.
Hmm.
I mean, because that rarely happens. Most companies every year, every 2 years, they're going up on their products.
Hmm.
So, like you said, that's God happening right there.
Hmm.
Any tips that you can give to anyone who's starting their business, or any tips you can give to anyone who is just started their business, think about starting a business, and what they can do to basically improve their business if they're going through some sort of strife right now. So any tips that you can give any entrepreneurs out there?
I always used to say, if you're going in business just to make money, then don't go in business. The
That's
reality of it is, you will lose a lot of money trying to keep your business. You have to have a love for what you do. It's the love that we have for doing the cakes that keeps us where we are. Many people don't know, but I'm a retired postal worker. I
Mhm.
retired after 20 something years. And I find even in that retirement, that things are not as pretty as people would think it is. The monies don't flow like people think.
Mhm.
Assumption is one thing. If you lived off assumption, you'll be rich. But reality kicks in on it. But if you're starting a business, I know I started to write memoirs as to starting a Black owned business, because I faced a lot of the differences that are real when it comes down to financing, when it comes down to just being given opportunity. All of these things I faced very hard. I could have given up,
Mhm.
because when I said monies were not allotted to me, no one believed in this, what I was doing. And so therefore I had to literally just get it on my own. I had to bake a cake and
Mhm.
take that money and then apply it to supplies,
Mhm.
bake another cake.
So reinvest into your business.
Yes. because it's not, if you're lucky enough to get a loan, which I was not, and I had all of the right tools. I had good credit. I was a homeowner, had a
Mhm.
job, I had everything going, and I did not understand it.
Mhm.
So many nights of crying with not understanding.
Mhm.
And I was later told that I was redlined, and I did not know what
Yeah.
that meant until
Mhm.
later. And because of this location, it just did not meet. It was on the wrong side of the city.
Mhm.
So therefore,
Hard to get along.
you have to know what's going on. There's so many moving factors as far as your business are concerned, especially if you're doing a storefront. I know there are a lot of businesses online now. I think it's a little better because you don't have to cross a lot of the zoning and different things that people make decisions on versus the computers.
Mhm.
You know, nowadays you just put the numbers in and the numbers will tell you where you fall. But here in the cities where you have to deal with people face to face, a lot of your answers really just hang on the hinges of who you're before.
Mhm.
And that can be very disheartening when you're trying to do a business. So I can understand why a lot of businesses went out.
Mhm. Now I know you have your family involved. You have 5 children,
Mhm.
4 girls and 1 boy.
You know, 4 boys and
4
four
girls
sons
and
and a daughter.
4 sons and a daughter. Who's in the business with you? Which family, which children actually is in the business with you? All of them?
I have 3 of my sons and 1 of my daughters that
Wow.
are active. I have 2 sons that operate the Pula store, and then I have my daughter and my son here that operates the Ogeechee store.
And I just met Prey. I love Prey to come over and
Yes.
introduce himself if you like to.
Mhm.
And when you told me his name, I just loved it. Prey.
Yeah.
So
We
where is the store in Pooler? I remember it used to be at the outlet, but
the
I don't
bakery itself is right behind. If you're familiar with Cheddar's in
Yeah, I know
Pula,
Cheddar's.
there's a
Mhm.
shopping center behind Cheddar's, like heading to the movie theaters. We've been there since 2014.
Mhm. Mhm.
Oh, so that's where you were. So you weren't at the
We
in
were
the
at the bakery before the outlet came. The
okay.
outlet came over to the bakery and asked if we could set up a store in the outlet. And we did that. It was supposed to have been like a 6 months trial period just for the opening of the outlet, but we stayed there for like 15 months.
Mhm. And how many stores do you have? Just you still have
We now have the 2
the one in Pooler
and this one.
and this one here.
We were blessed to have a total of 5. We had one on Wilmington Island, was my first move. Then we went to Pula, where we are still, and then we went to the Tanger outlets.
Mhm.
And then our 5th store that we opened was the Broughton Street store. So God has blessed us to open 5 stores.
Mhm.
2 of them are currently in operation.
Is any future plans to open additional stores again, or are you just going to stick with the 2?
I think I'm going to stick with these 2. We're going to try to work more on diversifying. We would like to just try some other business to just add to our profile.
Okay, so it would be in the food industry.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
No,
Okay.
ma'am.
So what's your thinking?
We're thinking with logistics as far as just moving things because we know now that me coming from a postal background, knowing how everything is moving with Amazon and the world is
Mhm.
changing. Even with cryptocurrency, the world is changing. So we just want to diversify and get into some things that has nothing to do with a spoon or eggs and butter or any type of food product. We want to be able to maybe transition and add something like that.
So
to
broaden
our
your
profile.
horizons and
Yes.
diversify. You know,
Mhm.
that's a key element there because
It's
most people who start their businesses, the wealthy, they truly do diversify. They don't
Yes.
stick with just one, one product or one company. They move on. So that's a great. I just love sitting beside this woman right here. I feel famous sitting beside her and just listening to this information.
But don't you have a food truck too?
Yes, my son has a truck that he
Okay.
has on the side. Yes, and just putting the plug in. Speaking of food and truck, we were blessed to be on the Food Network
Oh,
with our show there, our pilot show
mhm.
on the Food Network and the Cooking Channel.
Okay.
And right now, we are the face of cake for the city of Savannah and for the Low Country areas.
Oh, wow. Y'all
Mhm.
hear that, ladies?
Yeah,
Who's the face of cakes in Savannah? Look at Polly.
it's Miss Polly.
It's Miss
Yeah.
Polly's. That is fantastic. Hey, anything else you want to add, to this? Anything else you want to say? we got your address up here is 2325 Ageechee Road.
Yes.
And this, I mean, I didn't pay attention. It's right next door to the
Tompkins Gym.
Tompkins Gym. So
Mhm.
Tompkins Gym is like right beside it. It's
Mhm.
not hard to find if you live in Savannah. If you don't live in Savannah, it's easy to find. You see that big sign say Polly's Cake Giants. I remember the first
Mhm.
time that I was passing through here and I saw that big old sign that says Polly's, and I said, let me check this out. So I
Mhm.
came in here and I tried your shavings.
Mhm.
I tried your shavings first, and Lord Jesus Christ,
Mhm.
it was like I was in heaven. Do you deliver through Uber Eats or any other
Yes, we
delivery?
deliver through Uber Eats as well as Grubhub.
Grubhub and Uber Eats.
I never thought about getting a cake delivered. Never thought about it at all. You're just so
Where
used
are
to
you?
going to a bakery and picking up your
Picking it up,
cake,
yeah.
and that's it. I would think that someone would damage it. I wouldn't even try.
Well, we've had our shares of damaged cakes through the being delivered, but now we do a different type of delivery. We seal our cakes. We have like these really big styrofoam boxes that they come in. So your cakes now, we normally ship them in bundt form, and
Mhm.
we've shipped as high as we always ship to Buffalo, New York. Matter of fact, I just shipped one there last week, and the lady was like, I asked her, did she get her cake? She said half is gone already. Um, and we shipped as far west as Los Angeles. I've shipped cakes that far.
Ooh,
Yeah.
well, that is awesome.
Tanya, I'm going to set my camera to rear, and I'm going to just walk through the shop, and just let everyone see these beautiful cakes. So I'm going to set it to the rear, so everyone can see what I'm seeing in here. Let me see if I can do this. Hold on. I set my camera to the rear,
So,
and I'm just
Miss Polly, you do wedding cakes and um,
yes,
yes.
Yes,
wedding
ma'am.
cakes and all. All right, so it's on the rear. Can you see it? All right, let's go over here, Miss Polly. You can just tell them about these uh, fabulous cakes that you have here. Look at that.
Okay, so this is like our sweet tooth shop here. We normally just have it where people can sample cakes every day, from cupcakes to cakes and brownies and things of that nature. Um, we're a little low here with our cheesecakes, and then we have like key limes and red
Yes, I
velvets and pound cakes and sweet potato pie and pecan pies and strawberry cakes.
And where's
These are
that famous that one you're famous for?
pound cake,
The
sour cream
Yeah.
pound. That's
sour
it right
Sour
there.
cream.
pound right there.
Yeah. So
Look at
therefore,
And Miss Polly right there.
yeah. And so we built this building. So all of this, and that's a picture of the cake giants, the children. That's from the television store, Miss Polly's Cakes there. So that's what people want to see the proof. There are signs to acknowledge the Food Network and the Cooking Channel here. We've had everything from caricatures, wedding cakes that we do.
Is that a real cake right there?
It's all real icings. You can eat all the icings off of it.
Oh, it's a box.
Yeah. And then we do other
So, Miss
cakes.
Polly, are you all still on the air? Are you all still
So right
doing
now we're in syndication. You can just go on and pull up some of the past episodes.
okay?
Reruns, yes.
Who does the decoration? You and your son?
Yeah, I normally kind of get in charge of decoration.
And that's Miss Polly right there, guys.
Hello
She
there.
is fantastic. She has a customer coming in right now. So sit back down here, and I'm gonna put this back on back where you can see me, Tanya.
There's something that says resistance.
See,
Hey, Flo.
you see me back?
Okay, I got you. I can hear you a little bit. There was
It just took a
something
minute. Oh, that's a box that I'm using to hold up my laptop in the back.
Okay, I was thinking it was part of her packaging when she was sharing,
Yeah,
now that they have to change their packaging for their cakes. So
It's a corrugated cake circles is what that is. It's a box that I just picked up so I can hold back my laptop up.
okay.
Questions in the audience? Any statements from the audience? Please share if you have any questions. Miss Polly right now is taking care of a customer, and I hope I get a couple of them shavings before I leave.
So we want to say congratulations to Miss Polly for at least making it through the pandemic and surviving and doing those things that were necessary to adjust her business to make sure that she survived. And so a lot of people didn't make it during that time. And I see that we are also adding some different businesses that we're aware of that are still here and around after the pandemic. And so we want to congratulate all these businesses and really say to you all, to our guests, please, please support these African American businesses. um, Geneva's on Victory Drive. That is an awesome business over there. Great food. Geneva has always been a great cook. I think my family has followed her from Habersham Street over to B Road and now to this location. I got to even put another plug in. When I got married, Geneva was the one that did the food for my family, both my sister and for myself. And I see, yep, sisters. So on Skidaway, and definitely when you got hungry during the pandemic, for me, I lived on that side of town. I was in Sisters trying to get something to eat whenever possible, you know. So, and it's great that they are still here. I am not familiar with a
Mhm.
couple of the others, but Donna Delights is another bakery over there off of Montgomery Street. And her family have been over there for quite some time. Donna was also my neighbor out in the Runaway Point area, and her husband are now have moved on from out of that neighborhood. But the food over at Donna Delights is fantastic. So I think one of the things that she's done is she's moved from doing just cakes to now also doing a, a lunch or
Yep.
food, because I remember going in there. Well, I used to use them to do events for me.
Mhm.
Um, Whenever I needed a salad for a sorority meeting or something, big
That's
group of
where you went,
people,
Madonna.
I would always go there because they had this salad that everyone loved, that seafood salad. And I see now that they're doing a lot more food in the building. So that is fantastic. I have not been over there for dinner or to get lunch. I still just think of Donna Delights as cakes, but I am very much aware that she's doing food now.
Mhm.
And then we
And
have
then
some
there's
other, go ahead.
Shabazz Seafood Restaurant, 502 West.
Yes. So, and talking, Shabazz has been there for years. Flo, you're going in and out.
Are the reception?
Yeah, you're in and out.
Yeah.
But Shabazz has been on that corner, I want to say since I was a little girl, but no, of course not. But they have been there for so long. And, I think the last time that I was out of town for about 2 or 3 weeks. And then when I came back in town, it was like I had to have one of those fish sandwiches. And that was the first place I went. When I came back, I was like, got to go by Shabazz and get me a fish sandwich. My sister feels the same way when she comes in town. She's either going to go to Shabazz or she's going to go to Carrie Hilliard's. But, now that we're all more focused on eating and doing business with African American businesses. And so that's what we're supporting 100%. There's the vegan restaurant also that's over there by ILA. I'm not sure if they
That's
were in
Black-owned
business
business.
before the pandemic, but that spot was was also very good. Uh, what you saying, Pam? A great barbecue place is Cata Corner, Cata Corner, from the bakery on Ogeechee and 39th. Oh, I'm not
That's it.
sure.
It's Fields. It's that's
That's
Quickies.
Fields
No, that's
Quickies.
Quickies.
Okay,
That's
so we
Quickies.
got it, Pam. We name it Quickies too, over there across the street. But that's awesome. It's great that we have so many of the African American businesses that are still around from some time back and still here today.
Mhm.
There it is, Quickies. Have you been to Quickies? I don't eat barbecue, but
Yeah, my
have you been
husband
over
my
there?
husband had brought this home plenty of times for dinner or lunch or whatever. So it's really good. It's really good. And then Fields Barbecue right there off of Geechee Road 2 and 52nd. Only problem is I can never catch them open. I got them open one time yesterday. I went by there and see if I can get them on the show, and they were closed already. They closed pretty early hours, but it was good. Welcome aboard, Anthony. Come on and join us in.
Yeah,
There you
man.
go. Put that cell phone down and join us. There's Anthony.
So we were also looking at, can't hear you, Anthony.
Anthony, you
My
muted.
mic was muted. My mic was muted. How you ladies doing? I enjoyed the show that I heard. The part of I don't know where the restaurant is, but it made me hungry. Y'all have to
Absolutely.
excuse my attire. Well, as soon as I leave here, I'm going to my family reunion.
Oh,
Awesome.
that's wonderful there.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's
how
So
many
wonderful.
people do you have here for your family reunion?
I don't know.
You don't know? Are they going to be in Savannah? Or are they going to be
In
in
Savannah, there must be in Savannah a good, I don't know, maybe 30, 50 people, something like that. I don't know. You know what I mean? You got the kids having kids and the kids having kids and all this. I don't keep track of that stuff. Then I have maybe a couple of family members coming in from Carolina, South Carolina. Um, Actually, my brother came down from Connecticut, but he's in Augusta, and because of the weather and the travel, he's not going to come down. We have another event in Augusta tomorrow, so hey, I'm event out this weekend. This is just a busy weekend for me. I said, Lord, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it to Financial Sense, but I'm gonna try. And so I jumped in on the link, and so I was listening to it, and I said, "Oh, this is really good." I said, "Man, where that food at?" I said, "Brother, hungry." I said, "But you know what? I'm not gonna go by that restaurant. I'm going to my family reunion, and I'm gonna go ahead and eat." Oh, there it is, right there. Okay, all right. Fields
We're at
Barbecue.
Polly's. I'm at Polly's right now. I'm doing
Okay,
the show broadcasting at Polly's.
all
That
right. So you're
bakery
doing it. You're doing it like the newscaster. You're doing it on site.
on site, on site.
So
There you
maybe
go.
some of your family members will swing by Polly's and pick up some cake while they're there, or one of the barbecue places, or definitely make them aware of some of the businesses that are African American that they can swing in and get a meal while they're here.
Absolutely. Absolutely have to mention it. Right now there's so much food at that family reunion, they're not going to think about it until afterwards. You know,
Afterwards.
yeah, afterwards, because that's the thing about family reunions, right? You hope to meet some folks, but there's going to be a lot of food.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
and I love
You
So
food.
know there's going to be a lot.
some of the other things that she does besides cake, did I hear that she does cheesecake? Is that there?
I know she's. I'm not sure if she said cheesecake, but I know she's
I,
famous for
I
that sour cream pound cake.
there you go. Hmm.
Yeah, she's famous for that sour cream pound cake, which I hope I get a tasting of before I leave out of this building. I'm keep
Oh, oh,
hinting.
oh, 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 oh.
I
I
hope
don't
you
blame you.
But she's in the back. She's doing what she does best. She's baking cakes right now as we speak.
All right.
all right.
She's in there baking as we speak. Well, guys, let me tell you what, this was a fantastic show today. I mean, anyone in the audience has questions? She gave you great tips on if you want to start a business. Basically, if you think about business and you think about the money, don't go in business. If you're just thinking about the money, making big money or whatever, don't go to be. You have to have a passion for what you want to do. It has to be something that, you know, you're going to love doing, whether you make money or not. And this is what
Right.
she loves. And this is a family business. And this is what I love about all the businesses that we just ran across now that's going towards the ticker, is the fact that these are family businesses. These are, moms, daughters, brothers, husbands, sisters, fathers is working together, and they worked together for a long time. It's nothing they just started. So
Right.
it was great.
Flo, do you have her number, her phone number? Or you may want to put that with that, or add it on there somehow, or throw it up there along, something, so people can have the phone number as well. Does she do catering?
Yes, she does catering.
Okay.
And she delivers to Uber and Grub. What is that other thing? Grubhub.
Grub. Okay.
Yeah, she does it through that, and she also delivers. So if you want a cake, you can have her to deliver it to you. See if I can find her.
If you want to reach her, you can call at 912-335-2124. Again, that's 912-335-2124. So Holly's has been at Ogeechee Road for the past 12 years.
Wow.
In that location, and survived the pandemic. And so we again want to say congratulations. Please go back and watch some of her shows that she had on the Food Network.
Yeah, Food Network. Give me that number again.
Her number is 912-335-2124. Her number is 912-335-2124. So if you want to reach out, please reach out and place your orders. I have a corporate event coming up, and so I'm definitely going to be ordering. Thank you for even letting me know that they deliver. So now I was like, oh man, I gotta.
I'm smelling all of this and good aroma of these cakes, and I'm just surrounded by the aroma of good smelling cakes. I want some.
Just make you say,
All right. Well, I think next week we are probably going to be doing some other things with some individuals that have that are owning businesses and African American businesses. So we should be back next week, the same time, you guys, right? Going to come back the same time next week?
Same time, same place, same station.
Facebook, YouTube.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm looking forward to next week as well.
Absolutely. So join us next week with Financial Sins, where we will be back at 1:00 on Friday, providing additional information to our listening audience about African American businesses and asking you to support and make sure that they stay in business year after year after year. So I'm Tanya Scott Pilcher, the insurance professor, and as always, I say live life like there's no tomorrow. Mad Flo.
Hey, this is Mad Flo, making a difference for life and others. I am not crazy, but I am mad about helping others learn about how to make that money work hard for them. So this is Mad Flo signing out.
Hey, my name is Anthony Murray. I'm your financial literacy expert, and I want to thank y'all for being with us today. Listen, you don't want to miss what's coming up. Stay tuned. There's a lot of great things happening on Financial Sins. God bless you. Heaven smile upon you. We'll see you next time.
All right. See y'all next week.
like this. I 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 like this.